Okay then, guys, welcome to our literacy lesson, and we've been doing Fantastic Mr. Fox. Won't be a long lesson today, guys, you'll be pleased to know, because I've kind of rambled on a bit with maths, and I really want you to put some time into your equivalent fractions, because when we're going to be moving on soon and still doing equivalent fractions, but it's just going to get a little bit more trickier. So do spend more time on your maths if you can. Here we've been looking at the story of Fantastic Mr. Fox. So either read it yourself if you've got the book yourself, or I've put the audio book. It's on YouTube to listen to, and I've also got some the dog is decided to join us. I've also got some summary cards as well to help you. Just if you can't do any of those, you can read the summary so you get the gist of what the story is. But today, there's a few things that you can do, and I'll talk you through those in a bit. To start with, in the maths lesson, I just kind of talked people through where to find stuff. So every day there'll be lessons on YouTube, so you can just go straight to YouTube if you want to, and subscribe to the channel so you get all of the notifications and you know where to find things, and there'll be new videos there, or just go back and do ones that you haven't done. Completely up to you. If you can't do that and you're using DB Primary, I'll send you a message with the links to the video, and there'll also be let me show you. I think on the videos so when you open the video, you'll see this. And I will start to
Alrighty then, welcome back to another
put
session.
some notes in the description about how to get to the Google Drive, which will have some extra work on it as well.
It's obviously just a bit
so the Google Drive, I'll show you that now. If you click the link, you'll get to the internet's being real slow. This is, you'll get something that looks like this. You can see all the folders there, and I can go into the literacy one. And there's some help there with some adjectives, some adverbials. I've put the year 3 and 4 spellings on there as well. I'll go through those for a bit, and some conjunctions to use. Then I gave you some work to do yesterday, so I suggest maybe finish those off because there was 2 sheets there. That's one of the things that you could do today. So go back through yesterday's lesson and you'll know what to do. Here I put the spellings on, and obviously don't learn them all at once. There's far too many spellings, but print it out, and you can use it to maybe try and group words that have similar sounds or similar patterns if you can spot them, or maybe just each week maybe learn a row.
Let's see.
There aren't any particular methods, and they're all of different sounds, and these are for years 3 and 4, but it's just nice to stick up somewhere or have it up, and if you want to learn, these are the spellings that you're supposed to learn in years 3 and 4. Maybe what you could do first is go through them and cross off the ones you definitely know that you can spell. Maybe underline the ones that you think are way too hard, and maybe highlight some of the ones that you could learn. You could do it that way. Maybe pick 5 each day. They're in alphabetical order. Or you could look for patterns if you wanted to be a bit of a pattern spotter. And then the work from yesterday. So here are the tenses. You've got to change these into the past tense. So there are two birds on the fence. That's in the present. So yesterday there were. We're talking about something that's already, the birds have already been there. I am bringing some orange juice to the party. I brought some orange juice. Go to ate. Yesterday I am going to eat. Yesterday I ate. Here it goes. He changes to the present tense. The lion will roar fiercely. The lion roars fiercely. And then there was the present perfect, which is quite a long booklet. It kind of talks to you about the simple past and the perfect present, and then you got to do the task. So put a tick with the correct sentence in each pair. This is the present perfect. So which one is the present perfect? We know that it's got have or has. So I have been to the zoo yesterday. Does that make sense? Or I went to the zoo yesterday. Remember, the present perfect talks about something that happened in the past but is still ongoing. So if you've got this fronted, if you've got this adverbial of yesterday, yesterday I have been, well, yesterday's in the past, you can't bring yesterday back to the present. It's not possible unless you've got a time machine, so this one doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right, does it? I have been to the zoo yesterday. I went to the zoo yesterday. That one's correct. Give a tick there. When you've eaten your dinner, you can go out and play. When you ate your dinner, you can go and play. It just sounds different, doesn't it? But again, it's got have or has, so this is your present perfect tense, and it's when you have eaten your dinner, so that's something that's in the past. When you finish that, you can then do something, you can then go out and play. When you ate your dinner, well, it's already happened. It's done. You can go and play. That makes sense. You will get a gist of these just by the sound. And if you ever hear a question that says, what's the present perfect? Well, I know that it's got have or has, and you might even be able to say that it talks about something that happens in the past that's still ongoing. There's an explanation there, you tick that box. So then, fantastic, Mr. Fox. Hopefully you're enjoying listening to the story. That would be my number one tip to do. Find some time and just sit with your headphones on, listen to the audiobook, try and get through the story. It's not a long story. You could definitely do it in a day. The chapters are quite small and it's full of nice pictures. And then from there, you've got a selection of things to do. You're either storyboarding the story and practicing your summarizing skills. You're reading chapters or listening to chapters and writing a summary of them. Remember, summarizing is just a short sentence to get the gist of what happens in each chapter. And I'll show you another way of summarizing that you guys can do. You can do it in little boxes like this and make a little flow diagram. You might still be doing your character descriptions on the fox and the farmer. And the one thing that I want you to do today is make sure you've obviously read or listened to the book and you've got a good idea of the kind of story it is. And I want you to maybe see if you can retell the story from memory. That'd be a good bit of oracy to do. You try and record yourself doing that. So that's so you've either made your storyboard with notes to help you, or you've done your flow diagram. And to practice your oracy, to practice your speaking, make sure you know the story really, really well, and see if you can explain the story to somebody else, a brother, sister, grandparent, over the phone. You can ring them up and go, "Hey, can I just tell you about the story Fantastic Mr. Fox?" It all starts with the meeting of three farmers. One's a chicken farmer, one's a duck farmer, one's a cider farmer. And they're all really, really cross because there's this pesky fox that keeps stealing their food, and so on and so forth. Yeah, practice it a few times, maybe record yourself doing it. If you don't like the look of that, another way you can practice your summarizing skills a little bit is I've done the story mountain for Fantastic Mr. Fox. So you've got your introduction, build up, the farmers are trying to catch him, they don't like the fox stealing their food. Well, what's the problem? What's the climax? What's the dilemma? Well, they've surrounded the fox's hole and they're going to wait and flush him out. What's the resolution? Well, he comes up with a fantastic plan to escape and steal the food still, and they all live happily ever after. You can maybe use this story mountain curve, copy the bits out, maybe add your own annotations, and have a go for writing your own story. Maybe look at doing some good setting descriptions of the fox's den, or some character descriptions of the farmers. Or if you don't want to do a fox, you could change the characters. You could do rabbits, or you could do people. And why are they being trapped by these farmers? Maybe you could what's the word? When you change something. Having a mind blank. Help me out. What's the word? Innovate. You can innovate the story. So that means change parts. But don't write the story if you haven't listened or read the story first. Get really familiar with the story, because we'll do some comprehension questions on one of the chapters, or two of the chapters, or three of the chapters tomorrow. I am blabbering on. Remember, if you're getting bored of my voice, just skip to the parts. So I'll summarize the things that I want you to do today. Literally, most importantly, get familiar with the story, have fun listening to it, have fun reading it. If you have done that, see if you can do a storyboard of the story, so the main points, or practice summarizing the story and recording yourself telling us about the story, or ring up a relative, a friend, and tell them about the story. Or if you don't like the look of that, you can try and write your own story, either the same one as Mr. Fox with your own twist to it, with your own voice, or you can maybe innovate it and change some of the parts. So maybe the farmers will, I don't know, you can change the ending if you wanted to. That's going to be all for today. So sorry I go on and along. Have a good rest of your day, get some good work done, and I'll see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.